Everyone, this is Jeff P. It is September 23rd, 2019. We are just one day away from the September 23rd, 2019 Equinox 923. Where have you heard that before? Well, some of you know the answer to that. I am on this website to start this off. This is a picture of what was taken from a website where this video was created. It was called 231134421 Be Ready. The last subscriber that uploaded this in 2013 was actually released in 2012. I find that interesting, very interesting, because 2012 was 7 years ago. Well, in this, towards the 50-second mark, you could see it being cryptically spelled out from right to left: Sector New York Water, with the R being backwards. Interesting. And then on at the end of the video, it has the, if we're going to read right from left, what if we just continue reading from right to left? So we have unplugged, or like an EMP, loss of power, internet, who knows, Earth. And then we have this Aquarius constellation sign and the Pisces sign, or yin yang symbol. And I'm going to show you the great conjunction. I think I've decoded this with signs in the heaven and in the earth of the things that are happening and about to happen shortly. So let's start with the Pisces sign, or the yin yang symbol, and its possible meanings. So here we have the yin yang symbol with summer, water, fire, north, spring, west, fall. Then we've got this earth going between the two, because tomorrow will be the equinox. That means equal days and nights, black and white, light and darkness. We are transitioning into darkness because the days will be getting darker. The days will be getting longer, and the days will be getting shorter, and the nights will be getting longer. And here we have the Pisces sign with the two fish. I mean, some people already know all this stuff, right? The two fish, the Pisces sign, water, the equinox. All right. And I'm not going to spend too much time because I think this is not going to educate too many people. Then we have the Aquarius constellation. And here we have, always typically portrayed with a man, or a man carrying a vessel of water being poured out. And that is symboled with, so we have the Aquarius symbol here, which is identical to the one we see in this here. 3 bumps, 3 squiggly lines. Perfect. For the Aquarius constellation. Okay? Because that's what we're going through right now. What do I mean by that? Well, we also have another constellation of interest. It is called the Orion constellation. And that is where the pyramids of Egypt are lined up with the belt of Orion, which they're, so I'm just going to leave it there. The belt of Orion, right? Because it's the Orion's belt. Now, let's pull up solar system scope and show you where we're at with this great conjunction, that the end of the 7-year transition of the Neptune planet, which has the Neptune water god, the god of the underworld, the god of water, is in the Aquarius constellation. Now take note, this is the actual time. This is where we're at. We have the sun, the earth, and Neptune in an alignment with, you could see this, the Orion's the Neptune star is about to leave the Aquarius constellation. So let me fast forward us in time. We're going to show you that in the next few weeks, after being in the constellation for just over 7 years, the Neptune will be leaving and Earth will be traveling through Pisces, and Neptune will be out. You can see it here from the sun's perspective. Go back in time, that it leaves and begins to go into the water constellation during the month of October, which is right during the time of the Feast of Trumpets, the Jewish New Year, and all those events. You could see it leaving. If we go back in time, we could see that Neptune, let's speed this back, excuse me, yeah, going backwards, we could see that it was a 7-year transition right about here when it began to go into the Neptune, or excuse me, Neptune was going into the Aquarius constellation. This is the Aquarius constellation, in case you weren't watching. And we can see Neptune going through this for 7 years. The timing of it is absolutely amazing, because I think this is right about where Planet X broke through its ecliptic plane. So, according to the news articles, let's pull this up. In 1983, the news articles were all flooding the internet. Excuse me. The Calgary Herald, December 30th, 1983. A heavenly body was as large as the planet Jupiter and possibly so close to Earth that it could be part of this solar system. Part of the solar system been found in the direction of the constellation Orion by the orbiting telescope called the Infrared Astronomical Observatory. It was a protostar, had a lot of comments on it. And look, I'm going to skip forward. Some speculation it might be moving towards the Earth. Now, the article goes on, and it was on even on Popular Science. I'm trying to find it was in Popular Science. Here's another one by Thomas O'Toole. Again, he was quoting, it was all over the news. So close that it was found in the direction of Orion. In fact, it's on Google Sky, Google Earth, in the Orion constellation, a red planet with 2 wings, coming towards Earth. Zecharia Sitchin was about to make a great discovery as well. Before he could make his great discovery and explain it to the whole world, he died a mysterious death. Kind of reminds me of that movie we watched with, I don't know, I think it was Bruce Willis. But it had that kid that discovered this comet that was headed towards the Earth. And this guy that was at one of the telescopes goes, he got like, hey, check this out. And he's looking at it. Oh, where are you going, little fella? Well, he punched the calculation and he drops his sandwich and he gets a printout. And he gets in his car in a big rat huff. And he's the only one that has this information. And he's racing down the highway. And he's ran off the road by a semi and no one knew about it. He died, and the only one knowing the truth. Years later, they discovered it after it's almost too late. The governments of the world secretly built their own little bases and stuff, protected themselves, where everybody else died outside. Wasn't that nice? Well, that's not far from the truth. History repeats itself. Mystery Planet X. Again, it showed up all over the world. And suddenly, when it got too close, we need to shut this thing up and start killing people that saw it and know about it and silence all YouTubers. Now, we have this incoming body. Let's go back to the solar system scope now. With that being said, so it came in through the Orion constellation. It crosses the sun's ecliptic plane. That's the plane all the planets are on right here. This is the ecliptic plane. See all these asteroids? That is the remnant of an ancient planet. what's left of it is Ceres. And here we have the sun. Down here is the Orion's belt. We're looking down. It came at us. It's coming up through here, smashed out this planet, the remnants, and it swings back through on this side in front of the path of the Earth between Mars and Venus right here. So it comes in the spring, it leaves in the fall. It comes in twice. I think it came in on the 12th, either the 11th or 2011, 2012. I always knew it was going to leave, just didn't know what year. But I think this is the final one, and each time it does, everything falls in the fall. And this thing is just about to leave our constellation. It's so important that we are prepared. And we could see it finally leaving after all this time as the Earth goes through, and Neptune going through this as well, the Pisces constellation, like we saw in that cryptic video. And here it is, 2019. Here we are. Fry's is closing. I think the CEO is probably cashed out. Interest rates couldn't be any lower. They can't manipulate it any higher. You can't get any lower than a 2% or negative interest on the bonds. So, yeah, I don't think anything particularly is going to happen tomorrow. It's just too obvious of a day. I just saying it's an equinox. That's really, but the alignment of this whole thing is amazing. Let's go back to this solar system scope one more time. Also, at this time of the year, we are in the month of Elul, and at the equinox, the Feast of Trumpets is a fall feast. It is also the Hebrew New Year. We're going from 5778 to 5779. That the month of Elul, 29, is the last day of the Hebrew month. And the new moon that we see today, when it turns to a full, it's getting darker. When it can't be seen, it's a new moon. That's the last day of the Hebrew month. When that tiny sliver of light shows back up on the right side of it, that's the first day of the Hebrew month. Now, the Feast of Trumpets is celebrated in Jerusalem, and they has to be seen. They have to see that sliver of moon, and no one knows when they actually have to see it. 2 witnesses go out, and they have a thing called the blowing of the trumpets. When they both see it, 2 eyewitnesses in Jerusalem, then they come down, and they do the blowing of the trumpets 100 times, short blast, long blast, and finally the 100th blast. And the 100th blast is what they call the last trump. And we had a Donald Trump. What are the odds, right? No coincidences here. So I just wanted to clear that up, and no one knows when they celebrate the real hot Rosh Hashanah. They just don't know. It's like the mystery holiday, and they just have to wait. In fact, there's some people on YouTube on the 17th floor in Jerusalem that wait for this day to come, when to see if they actually see it. Normally, the brightness of the sun blocks it, as at the rising of the moon when they see it, with that sliver of light. And it's supposed to be about September. It's predicted to show, it's there, but you might not see it on September 30th. I think it's closer to October 1st. So just leave it right there. All right. Now let's show the evidence of Planet X, the best evidence. Well, let's pull up this video here. Absolutely awesome. This was shown in Germany. Now, for the sake of time, this thing transitions all the way across the sky. You can see this thing rotate. That is a real time, not time lapse. This is how long it actually took to transition across the sky. Give us an idea of the red kachina. This object is believed to be orbiting around the Nemesis star, traveling slower, much, much slower than Planet X. Anyways, we can even see it rotate slightly. The colors. Look how they're trying to chemtrail this thing as it hides across the sky. Great video capture. Try and debunk that one. I believe I captured this same object when, check this out, in October on this website. And Strawberry Skies is capturing the same evidence of this incoming object. If it's far or heavy clouds, we're not going to see it. Look what happened on this website. This is not Photoshop, folks. On October 31st, 10 minutes before this thing arrived. So let me enlarge this and click forward 30 minutes. Whoop, we're in the wrong year. It was hold on. Okay. Hit the right time here. Let's blow this up. Now, let's go forward in time. You see the sun getting, the rising of the sun. And here it is at 6:50. There it is, folks. Look at that. Did you see this? Do you see how it, you see how the shadows look right before this thing appears? The shadow appears. This one came thin enough in the clouds that this thing came and went that fast. Let me zoom that in. There. Slowly blowing across the sky. That just, I think, is the same exact gas planet. Let's look what happens next, because this is interesting. Because Strawberry Skies, I want you to show this cloud pattern that we see, because this is what our skies are starting to look like. We have a what looks like a plasma behind a planet, and these long feathery things that are now being seen all the way across the sky. Now Planet X has two of them. Let's go to the next frame. The sky's filled with these. We have a shadowy here and here, like a split V. Watch. Right after this happens. And almost could make out this planet. It's blocking the red, though, because so many chemtrails. Look at that. Are we seeing that in our skies now? As I'm going to show you. I'm going to try and show you what Strawberry Skies. Look at that. See that? It's like the wind. There's the planet here, and the wind is now blowing it in that direction as it passed from left to right. It's 8 o'clock. Let me zoom that out. Still seeing these dark, streaky objects. We'll go a little further out. Let me zoom that out a little bit. And next we're going to go to Strawberry Skies. Okay, I think that's about as far as we can go. Let's go back to the 650. Still there in the archives, folks. You can come see this yourself. It's probably one of the most underappreciated web cameras. There you go. All right. Let's go to Strawberry Skies. Okay, so we're on Strawberry Skies channel. And I'll show you her channel in a second. Let's see. I got a full screen this, so. I want to see if you could see the very subtle. I hope you could see this too, because the light, the dark shadows during the twilight hours of the day on the opposite side of the sun. That would be the western side in the morning. Sunset time. I don't know if you guys can see that, but let me scroll it forward. Well, actually, she's doing a pretty good job, but I'm going to speed this up a touch. Like double speed. All right. Now, see if we can pause it at the right time. We can see some pretty cool tails of this object. Remember, there's more than one, right? And you've got so many names. I'm just going to call it a planet. Call it a core. Very well could be. I'm not here to argue. I'm just showing you what I see and the effects of this planet. Surely not a hologram. Wow. So Kind of looks like a little bit what we're seeing here. And the twin tails that we see. Let's see if we can have. Here we're starting to see the tail-like objects. I just wanted to show this footage that she has. She's such a great lady, always showing cool stuff. And look at, you can make out the red tinge here, right? See how it's kind of reddish here? Wow. I mean, to the unaided eye, you wouldn't think, man. But she's definitely very awake, and she knows what this thing looks like. So she pays a lot of attention. It's worth following. Strawberry Skies Forever. God bless you. And she did another one called Cloud Manipulation. Now tell me this doesn't look similar to what I showed you from that previous video with the long, shaded, thin clouds. I emphasize the word thin because if it's thin, it should not be blocking light. Therefore, it should not be dark, like we see right there. Unless there is a shadow covering it up. Huh. And thus it forms a V-like pattern. Like exactly what the planet would be doing if we could see this thing, if they weren't hiding it. With cloaked TR3B crafts and HARP. The TR3B crafts are equipped with holograms so they can create any image they want. Yeah, that's supposed to be our new skies. And by the way, if anybody was actually capturing this, these do suddenly appear and quickly disappear just the same. Look at that. Really long trail patterns all the way across the sky. You see that? How come these clouds are getting really long? And there's windless days too. I mean, on windless days. And look how they're like mimicking the tail of the planet X by the chemtrails. So when it finally does here, you won't know the difference between that and the actual tail. So, and sometimes it comes in so close that these are actually completely red. Yep, there's your popcorn clouds with the flickering sun. Right, you see those clouds like that? Let me slow that down just a little bit. But that's what I call the popcorn clouds. Those are created by the TR3B crafts with their subcompact nuclear reactor that superheats the water aboard the craft, steaming it. And as soon as they tune these things off, those clouds at that low altitude with a high temperature will dissipate within minutes. If it would have been real clouds, that wouldn't happen. They just, those little puffs, because they come puffing out of their little TR3B crafts. Anyways, see you all at the Feast of Trumpets.